glute choke, hammer's choke, lasso choke, same name. We're just going to have a look at it, go into it, and I'm teaching from the butterfly guard straight. The main reason I teach from the butterfly guard is it enables us to have really more movement and motion, where I find it teaching from the full guard, it's a bit harder to do the technique together. Okay, so first thing is I go fishing and I grab, but my hand comes around about the armpit height. So I'm not putting my hand in like where I'm going across collar choke. From this position here, once I put my hands up to the cross collar choke, her hands are free, she can move past the guard, arm bar, etc., jump the guard. So I'm kind of keeping it around this side. It does two things. It makes it feel so that it's not a choke, no, it's not straight of a choke. And number two is, if she tries to grip fight, it's a lower mechanic and she's pulling my hand down, which is kind of where I want it to be anyway. Number two is I'll protect my elbow. Right. When I have my elbow here, she can push the elbow across that way. So I try to protect my elbow so that my elbow is down. So she tries to push it, at least, yeah, it's harder. Once again, the mechanic's more going down. This is the hardest part about the entire move is I'm going to create a valley and I'm going to move off from here. So I'm trying to bring my elbow slightly offside. I'm not pulling forwards. In fact, as I move backwards, I'm trying to drop my elbow to the ground and create a window of opportunity. Smash the head, so that I'm putting the hand into the valley. Right? Now, what I'm doing from here, the first part is my hand, top hand, shoots through as deep as I can, palm up, and I'll squeeze. And that's pretty much the choke done and dusted. It's a really fast, super, super fast choke. So this is the part that you're going to have issues with is I need my partner's head to travel center line, and that's the hardest part about this choke is, so what I'm doing is I kind of make the center line easier by making her come center line because I move offside, where I find if I move backwards here, it's generally there, and this is really hard to lasso because by the time I go to force the head, it's too much distance to lasso. So the small part, the part that made this easier for me to choke people to do the technique was I go here, elbow on this side, armpit height. Not here, armpit height. Post, pull down. So it's almost like a whiplash. Post it, and I'm sitting up. Don't sit back yourself past the guard. I try to drive this hand as far as I can across the body and its fingers out. If it's down, she can pop the head. So if she tries to pop the head arm to choke, see how my hands are, where it's here, she's going to be able to handle it. So I kind of spray my fingers as wide as I can behind the head. And what I'm doing is I'm forcing my top elbow down and I'm putting my bottom elbow towards me to cinch the choke on. You're going to get a lot of power. So a lot of time you're trying to choke, if you're in close, it's really hard to generate power. If you're backwards, you can kind of get the X factor. But if you go too far backwards, you're going to lose the head. So it's just kind of variable. So what I found for me was if I sit offside, it's harder for my back to hit the ground because I'm kind of hanging on you. Where if I'm front, that's an easy mechanic. Where if I'm putting it on the neck, it's harder to sit on my back, but I get it a bit better drive on the choke hand. The hold hand. The choke hand's actually the top hand that does the choking, right? So I'm pushing you into the choke. Everyone tries to do the opposite, so they're lifting the head up. So it's the hand that's on the top that pushes the head into the choke. So there's more emphasis on the top hand on the back of the neck than there is lifting. The main mechanic is if I'm lifting your head up, I'm pulling you out of the choke. Does that kind of make sense? Okay, so I go fishing, I get my grips from here, make sure my elbow's center line, I don't want her to hand fight it. This also means from here, when I do the whiplash, it's a perfect position to whiplash. Boom. So what I'm saying is, once I'm here, all Mel does is keeps driving her head forward, and she's got to put me, and this is a really hard mechanic to finish a choke because I'm so front on. And she doesn't even have to be good at jiu-jitsu, she is, but she's going to just be able to put me flat onto my back, and I'm going to have a hard time completing the choke. So what I would like to do is, once I'm here, elbow and whiplash, is I'm kind of pulling my arm that way to pull the head to the side, and now I'm offside. So what I'm saying to you is, for me to sit on my back, I've actually got to put the choke on for me to sit on my back, because I've got to carry her down with me. So what's something is, the more I lift this up, the more that I'm pulling her back in line with me, the more easier for her to drive me down, and past the guard. The more that I'm going push off that side. Is that okay? The more I'm on that side, for her to try and push into me, she's got to kind of drive into the choke. So I kind of want everything off to that side. The second thing is the way she caters the choke, she's got to come around the guard to her left. If I can push her as far as I can that way, it's harder for her to pass the guard on that side as well. Would you like to see that? So with this move here, what I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to hit, like I'm not going for the choke, like I'm going for the choke. But a lot of time that people, because my hands are committed to the choke and I'm in the butterfly, they can pass the guard. And my job is to force them to pass to their left, to my right, so that I can do what we call a hangman's choke. A hangman's choke is basically I'm going to hang them on all fours and choke them. Now, I'm going to be nice. This choke does come on pretty quick. Just so you understand, this is in the family of bow and arrow chokes. So if you're mentally in the family of the bow and arrow choke, so I'm trying to get behind the neck and grab like a leg and do the stretch them out like a bow and arrow. So the concept on this one is it's in the family of the bow and arrow choke system. So it's not necessarily where I'm trying to get the collar, it's more that the pressure onto the neck as I'm spinning around does the choking on the carotid, not the lack of air due to the choke. Okay. So I'm going to go into small details again. I start on the butterfly, go fishing, get it, elbow comes in, off center, boom, here, and she goes, I'll just pass the guard. So as she passes the guard, my job is to get my hand through. And I don't particularly care at this stage here if it's grabbing anything, it's just through this side. I can leave it on the outside. Can I spin around this way so it's this way. So my hand, instead of going here, I'm here. But what I'm doing is, this is a hard punch, I jump and I let her pass. So as she passes the guard, I go hold. So this is my bow and arrow, and all I do is I raise my hips and pull my elbow under. So when I first started to do the choke, that was how I got taught to do it. And I found it quite hard to do because that kind of feel the choke and that step on that hand fight. So I modified this to make it an easier choke for me to get and to make you react to what I'm doing. So this is how I started to do it. Was we played butterfly, I'd go here, and I'd go like this and pull, and I'd shoot like I'm doing a double leg or single leg. Go sprawl, and get my throat while they're sprawling. And everyone will sprawl, and the downfall, once you sprawl, you've exposed your neck. And it's a fast choke, it's a really fast choke. So we'll do that one in slow motion. That was slow motion, but sorry, are you okay with that, man?
Yeah.
It's not too hard. I know you're tough. So here. Bop, bop, bop. Okay, this elbow. Right, I raise my hip, pull the elbow under. Because if she slides down, she can pop the elbow off her head. Right? Yeah. So what I'm trying to do is, I try to, when I bridge, all the way on my elbow side. So if she tries to shoot me down now, the choke comes on. So instead of being here where my elbow doesn't have any weight, if I bridge, I'll put the weight on my elbow so it's hard for her to move it. Does that kind of make sense? Ian, come here. I'm gonna double leg you in, but I'm gonna do it from a butterfly guard. Okay, so grip, hold it, hip escape, elbow in, smack the head. So for me, this is the key. This is what I want to be. Is I want to come here. So see how I've caught his head with my shoulder. So the shoulder's over the head. Double leg, flat. Now, whether he sprawls or doesn't, I stick my back. And I hang him standing or here. You okay there, Ian? So think about it this way. I'm going to bridge to put my weight in my elbow, pull it in. And if I'm having trouble, over and choke him while I'm coming over. I didn't know I could do that one. So it's pretty cool. So like I've got so many options here. Take it in. Jump backwards 3 forward, please, buddy. Okay. Back 2 forwards. Okay. So go fishing. Backwards, whiplash, yoink. boom. Shoulder on the neck. So they're going to kind of sprawl. I come under. So head shoulder straight away. I roll from there, and all I have to do is grab something. Walk that way. Grab something out. Once again, if Tweet can get her head, that's the counter. So my whole job is to try and make sure that my weight's in my elbow, right? So if I put my weight on my elbow, she shuffles backwards, and shoulder comes on. So the easiest way to put my weight on my elbow is to put all my weight to drive up my feet so all the way to here. And because I've got this, I treat it like a bow and arrow. I walk away from her, and the choke comes on pretty fast. 1, 2, 3. Change part. So this is the thing, like we're here, she shoots a single leg, I get hold of this. Come on. So it's not just from, I can do this from like from a lot of different positions as well, right? I can do it from the full guard. The hardest part is when I first started to do this was the space to dive under my partner or to roll under my partner was the biggest issue. So here, go fishing, whiplash, boom. So what I found for this is I'm going to go kick and dive. I'm going to force her by putting my elbow backwards. And now I can grab. Now, if she continues to try and roll, I kick the leg. So, if she rolls back the opposite way, I bridge. And when I bridge, I'll put the shoulder. She's practicing on my leg because her legs are stronger than my hand. But because I've got that bridge on the head. So you can do this to make that turtle. You can do it off a single leg, off a double leg. As long as you can get that head in the window, it doesn't have to be deep. You can roll to twice the shoulder. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. So from the guard, once again, go fishing, get my grips, comes in, sit back, whiplash, boom shanker, get hold of it, dodge, and so I'm putting my hand as far across the body to the opposite side as I can. So I'm shooting here, right? I dive under, when we roll, it gives me the opportunity to now either grab my hand, put the shoulder, because like when I'm hitting, so because I've got the arm from here, if she walks the hips to the left or to the right, choke goes on. When I'm here, if my arm stretches and she grip breaks, I'll lose everything. So I'm actually better off holding this here. The second part about it is if she's really good at defending the choke, I just walk my hips underneath her and put the choke on. Like on a crucifix. So if I walk away to get the choke, but like, man, I'm having trouble, so I go here, I walk underneath her. So now this becomes a crucifix, because I've got a space to pull the elbow in. If I'm still having trouble, I simply roll this way, and finish it. So you're better shooting and grabbing the arm than the leg off the rollover. Okay, try that guys, 1, 2, 3.